Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something really fundamental for English learners, how to actually make new words stick.
Yeah, how to memorize them effectively.
Exactly. If you've ever felt like, you learn a word one day and poof, it's gone the next, well, you're definitely not alone.
It's a classic problem. Great topic to dive into. Because building that strong vocabulary, it's not just about knowing lists of words.
Right.
It's really about unlocking your ability to communicate, to feel, confident doing it.
Totally agree. And for this deep dive, we've been looking at a transcript from the BDX Learning English podcast. It was their episode, number 32, about memorizing English words.
A good source for practical tips.
Yeah. And our mission today, for everyone listening, is to give you tools and strategies, not just to learn words, but to actually remember them.
So you can use them in real conversations.
Exactly. That's the goal. By the end, we really hope you feel, well, more confident about building your vocabulary.
And that confidence, it really comes from having the words you need. Think about it. Language is like building something, right? Words are the bricks. Without a good supply of those bricks, making sentences, expressing your ideas, even just understanding a book or a movie, it gets really hard.
Oh, it definitely impacts your fluency, doesn't it? That awful moment when you're searching for a word.
Yeah.
And it just won't come. It's so frustrating. It just stops you in your tracks.
It really does. And that frustration, well, it can start to chip away at your confidence over time. But when you do have the vocabulary, you feel more relaxed, speaking, writing. You hesitate less.
It just flows better.
Much smoother, yeah. And more enjoyable, honestly.
And it's huge for understanding, too. Listening or reading, if you know more words, you just get it.
Yeah.
You're not mentally translating every other word.
Right. You can actually engage with what you're hearing or reading, not just struggle to decode it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how it opens doors, better job prospects maybe, making friends from other places.
Getting more out of travel.
Exactly. Connects you more. Having the right words helps you engage with the world, really.
So if you're listening and thinking, okay, vocabulary is important, you're spot on. It's honestly one of the fastest ways to level up your overall English.
Definitely a huge lever.
But let's be real. It's not always easy, is it? We should probably talk about the hurdles people face, the common frustrations.
We absolutely should, because acknowledging the challenges is the first step, right? So one really common thing is just forgetting words. You learn them, maybe even practice them a bit, but they just don't stick.
Yeah. Learn today, gone tomorrow. It feels like wasted effort sometimes.
It can be discouraging, for sure.
And then there's the other thing.
Yeah.
Knowing the meaning, but not being able to actually use the word.
Oh, that's a big one.
You see it, you understand it, but when you try to talk or write, blank.
Yeah, knowing it passively versus using it actively, they're different skills, and often it comes down to practice, or rather a lack of consistent practice.
Right.
If you don't keep seeing and using those words, they just fade. Like forgetting an old phone number you don't use anymore.
Good analogy. And something else. Pronunciation uncertainty. You might know the word from reading, but if you're not sure how to say it, you might just avoid using it altogether.
Which means you don't practice it, and then you don't remember it as well. It's a cycle.
Exactly. And sometimes it just feels overwhelming, doesn't it? All these new words.
Oh, definitely. Especially when you first start or hit a new level, long lists of vocabulary. Where do you even start?
Yeah, it can lead to just feeling bogged down. And then you get confused with words that sound similar or look similar.
Like affect and effect, classic examples.
Or advice and advise. Happens to everyone.
It does. And one more thing to consider is just the learning process itself. If it's boring, it feels like a chore, your motivation just tanks. And without motivation, sticking with it becomes really, really hard.
So true. So if any of that sounds familiar to you listening, honestly, you're in good company. These are super common issues.
Absolutely.
But the great news is, for every challenge, there's usually a strategy, or several, that can help.
Exactly. And that's what we want to get into now. Some actual practical techniques to make those words stick.
Okay, let's do it. Where should we start? What's a go-to method?
Well, you can't really go wrong with flashcards. Old school, maybe, but they work.
Still effective.
Yeah. Word on one side, meaning or even better, an example sentence on the other. And now you've got great apps too, right? Like Anki, Quizlet.
Oh yeah, digital flashcards are super convenient. You can drill anywhere.
Exactly, anytime you have a spare few minutes.
And a little tip for flashcards, add pictures. Visual association is powerful.
Oh, good one. Like for apple, actually put a picture of an apple.
Yeah, it gives your brain another hook to grab onto.
That makes sense. And building on that idea of context, learning words and sentences is so important.
Rather than just isolated definitions.
Right? Don't just memorize run. Think, I run every morning. It shows you how the word works.
Absolutely. Which kind of leads naturally into immersion, doesn't it? Reading, listening.
Yeah. Books, articles, podcasts, like the one we looked at, TV shows.
You just start seeing the words pop up in different situations.
And that repetition in different contexts really cements it in your long-term memory. And speaking of memory, spaced repetition.
Ah, yes, the scientifically backed one.
Pretty much. The idea is you review words at increasing intervals. Like, review it soon after learning, then a day later, then 3 days, then a week.
It fights that forgetting curve, right?
Exactly. It signals to your brain, hey, this is important, keep it.
It can feel like magic, but it's just good timing. Another thing, maybe more low-tech, is a vocabulary journal.
I like that.
Just a simple notebook. Write down new words, meaning example sentence, and then actually look back through it regularly.
That active recall of writing it down and reviewing it, very effective. And what about making connections, like creative ones?
Oh, like memory tricks, mnemonics.
Yeah, or just silly stories or associations. You mentioned giant earlier. Maybe imagine a giant holding a dictionary. The sillier, the better sometimes.
Because it's memorable. That definitely works for some people. And we can't forget pronunciation.
Crucial.
Use tools. Google Translate. Language apps. Listen to the word.
And then say it out loud.
Yes, even if you feel silly at first. Saying it helps lock it in and builds confidence for using it later.
Good point. And here's a super simple one. Labeling stuff around your house.
Like sticky notes.
Yeah. Put a note saying refrigerator on the fridge,
Right.
window on the window. Constant passive exposure.
That's actually quite clever. Okay, so those are a lot of techniques.
It is a lot. But the key is you don't have to do them all at once.
Right. Pick one or two that sound good to you, try them out.
Find what clicks with your style. Consistency is way more important than trying to juggle 10 methods.
Totally. And maybe combine them.
Yeah.
Like make flashcards, then try writing a short story using those words.
Ooh, I like that. Make it active. Make it a bit fun if you can. That always helps.
Definitely. Okay, so for everyone listening, maybe just take a second now and think. Which one of those sounds like something you could try first?
Yeah, just mull it over.
And don't worry, we'll recap the main points later. But first, let's try a quick interactive bit. Put some of this into practice right now. You ready to lead this?
Okay, let's do it. A little memory workout. So here's the deal. I'll say a word. You, listening, take a moment, think about the meaning, and try to make a sentence with it. Ready?
Let's go.
First word. Pretty common one. Happy. What does happy mean? Can you use it in a sentence? Just think it through.
Okay, maybe something like happy means feeling good or joyful. And a sentence could be, I am happy when I see my dog. Did you come up with one? Hope so.
Nice. Okay, next word. Run. What does run mean? Make a sentence. Take a sec.
Okay, my turn. Run means, moving fast on your feet. Like, I like to run in the park. How'd you do?
Good examples. All right, one more, maybe slightly less common. Giant. What does giant mean? And try it in a sentence.
Giant means something very, very large, right?
Yeah.
Like, that building is giant.
Perfect. See, doing that kind of self-testing, even just mentally, really helps reinforce the learning.
It really does. It makes it active. And you can do this yourself anytime. Pick a few words from your list, define them, use them in a sentence. Simple, but effective.
Super effective. Okay, so now we've got these techniques, we've practiced a bit. Let's talk about weaving this into everyday life, making it a habit.
Yeah, how do you make it stick long term? Let's get into that.
So integrating this into daily life, that's where the real progress happens, isn't it?
Absolutely. It needs to become part of your routine, not just a separate study time.
Right. So one concrete thing is what you mentioned earlier. Aim for maybe 5 new words a day.
Just 5. Manageable.
Yeah. Write them in your journal, definition, sentence, make that a daily habit.
And then the crucial next step.
Try to actually use them.
Yes. Set a little goal. Use those 5 words sometime during the day in a real conversation, if possible.
Or even in a text message, an email.
Or just talking to yourself.
Yeah.
Seriously, narrate your actions using the new words. It sounds weird, but it works.
It does. And if speaking practice is tricky, shadowing is fantastic.
Explain that one quickly.
Sure. You listen to, say, a podcast or a video in English, and you repeat what the speaker says right after them, trying to match their pronunciation and intonation. And you can constantly try to slip in your new words while you're doing it.
Great for pronunciation and vocabulary reinforcement. Double win.
Exactly. And then there's general immersion. We touched on it, but really lean into it.
Change your phone language.
Yes. Watch shows in English, maybe start with subtitles, then try without. Read English news sites, blogs, books, whatever interests you.
Surround yourself with the language as much as possible.
Make it unavoidable. And technology helps here too, right? Those language apps, Duolingo, Memrise, Anki.
Yeah, they gamify it, make practice more interactive. Great for drilling vocab.
Definitely worth exploring. And don't underestimate writing. Keeping a journal in English.
Even short entries.
Totally. Just write about your day, your thoughts. Try to weave in those new words you're learning. The physical act of writing helps solidify them.
Good point. What about connecting with people?
Oh, yeah. Finding a language buddy. Or joining an online community. There are tons of places to practice speaking or writing with other learners or native speakers.
Makes it more social, less isolating.
And maybe less intimidating sometimes. And if you are feeling shy about speaking, record yourself.
Just using your phone.
Yeah. Say your new words, maybe some practice sentences. Listen back. It helps you hear yourself, improve pronunciation, and just builds confidence privately first.
These are all really practical things people can actually do.
And the big theme, again, is consistency, isn't it?
It always comes back to that. Little bits, often. Learning 5 words a day, trying to use them. It adds up way faster than you'd think.
Absolutely. And please, everyone listening, try not to aim for perfection straight away. Focus on progress. Did you learn one new word today and use it? Awesome. Celebrate that.
Yeah. Enjoy the process. Every word you learn and remember is a real step towards fluency.
Definitely.
Okay, wow. We've covered a fair bit today, haven't we?
We really have. From why vocabulary is so crucial to the common roadblocks.
The challenges.
Then lots of practical techniques, a quick practice session.
And finally, how to weave it all into your daily life.
Exactly. And I think the main takeaway, hopefully, is that learning vocabulary doesn't have to be this, awful, boring task.
Right, with the right approach.
Flashcards, associations, context, spaced repetition, and consistency. It can actually be quite manageable, even engaging.
Couldn't agree more. So for everyone tuning in, just remember, small steps, consistently. Pick a few words, use them in sentences, practice regularly. It might feel slow sometimes, but trust the process. It really does add up.
It truly does.
And hey, we genuinely love to hear from you all what works for you.
Do you have a favorite method we didn't mention? Yeah, share your tips, drop them in the comments, or send us a message. We're always curious, and maybe we can share some listener ideas in a future deep dive.
That would be great. Also, if you found this helpful, maybe subscribe, check out our other resources.
And perhaps share this with a friend who's also learning English. Help spread the word.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, one final challenge before we go. Choose 5 new English words right now if you can.
Go on.
And try to use each one in a sentence sometime today. Just make it happen. You can definitely do it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. Keep practicing. Stay curious.
And happy learning. We'll catch you next time.